no, sis, you're not good. That man took his money for the end of the night. He ran off on you.
I got too many hoes, but they ain't you. You like to put that shit in your nose, but I still love you.
Everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Namely Dollars. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. So, this video, I'm gonna be talking about nightlife and bartending in the nightlife, or bottle service, or hookah girl, hookah boy, like whatever nightlife got to offer for you. I was interested in nightlife about, I would say, over 5+ years. When I first started nightlife, I was a hookah girl. I was doing hookah. That's when I loved hookah. Like, hookah was life. You hear me? Like, wake up, hookah, shower, hookah, sleep, hookah. Like, hookah was life. And let me say something. Nightlife it sounds like it's like, okay, it's nightlife. But nightlife is really something to get into, especially if you want to be serious about it. Yeah. So I started nightlife. When I first started nightlife, I was doing hookah service. Like, I'll wake up, hookah, sleep, hookah, go to the bathroom, hookah. Oh, you want to take me out? I need to go get some hookah. Like, don't take me somewhere that don't got hookah, because we're not doing that. Like, that's when I was really a hookah head. Like, hookah was life. So my first time, like, if you're from New York City, you know, like, nightlife in the 5 boroughs is always something to do after the club, like after the bar. There's always something to do, like club-wise, like there's always something to do. And the thing about it is, I went to bartender school later on down the line. But like, anyways, back on topic. When I first started nightlife, I started doing hookah service. I worked at the Buzz. If you know the Buzz nightclub was that go-to spot. Did I start working hookah at the Buzz? I started working hookah, yeah. Like, it was the go-to spot. And rest in peace, Fat Boy, he gave me my first booking to work nightlife. What made me want to work nightlife in the first place? I'm like, yo, I love drinking, I love to party. Why can't I make money off of doing everything all in one? Why can't I go party and still make money while I'm in a party life, while I'm in a nightlife? Like, why can't I do all of that in one? So I'm like, you know what? Let me get invested. Let me see what to do. I started seeing like people that I grew up with promoters. They would promote certain clubs, Gallus Lounge, Studio 10. Like, they would promote events. And I'd be like, yo, how do I get involved? Like, how can I start working in the field that you, like, these parties that you're promoting? How can I get in tune with this? And it's like, you don't have nothing to take for this. It's hours. You gotta put in the hours to this. Like, you don't got what it take. You don't got what it takes to work in the nightlife. How you don't got what it take if you don't give me the opportunity? Like, that's why I used to hit up like promoters. Like, I'm not gonna go there and put in names, stuff like that. But it was like back in the day, like when we was doing promoters, and they was sitting there asking me for your Facebook password so they could send out and blast out their flyers to people in their DM. But we're not gonna go there. So I'm like, yo, I got what it take. Give me a gig. Like, show me what it take to, like, put me in the right direction. So I got the hookah booking. Of course I know how to make hookah. That's like, got the hookah. Like, really? That's like, when I first started hookah, I was getting paid $50. Yes, I was working at this lounge on, what is that, Clarkson in Utica? I forgot the name of it, my tongue. It's gonna come back to me. I was working hookah there. I was getting paid at the end of the night, working from coming in at 8 p.m. and leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning with $50. Yes, $50. I didn't know nothing about no base pay, no deposit, no none of that. I didn't know nothing about none of that. Like I said, it was a party. I was there. I was making hookah, smoking hookah, and enjoying myself, and still going home with some type of money in my pocket. Regardless of the fact, I wasn't thinking at the time, like, $50 for all these hours? Nah, no way. There's no way I'm doing this. But then I started, like, that's when you get to know people. That's when you meet other promoters. That's when you meet other females in the nightlife that do other things. Like I'm working hookah service and there's girls behind the bar making drinks. Like you understand what I'm trying to say? Like that's what I'm like, all right, I want to be behind the bar. That's where I want to be at. How do I get to that? Let me talk to her. Let me get to know her. Let me see what what the criteria is to get to where she's at or he's at behind the bar. Anyways, so my first booking at Nightlife was hookah service. It was a good experience overall. Like I said, I made $50, and that's what took me out because I couldn't believe at the end of the night I was going home with $50 and still to take the bus home. Cause girl, who's paying for cab? Like I was right there on Utica waiting for that 46 to the B6 to go home right after work. Or if I had a little joint picking me up, dropping me home, whatever the case may have been. So later on down the years and 3 years ago, I decided to look into bartending school. Because at first I thought I needed to get my license to become a bartender. I went to bartender school, I went to ABC, I went to school for 2 weeks. They showed you how to do pour outs, how to do 2-step drinks, 3-step drinks, how to shake, how much amount you're supposed to pour in alcohol, yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna get into that another time. But I'm thinking that this is what it takes for me to be a bartender in the nightlife, to go to bartender school. I got my bartender license now, I'm certified in alcohol. Now these promoters can't tell me nothing. Now I wanna work with the bar. I get my first booking, work in a bar, and it was no point in me going to bartender school because it's a 2-step process. It's a 2-step drink process. Like alcohol and chaser, alcohol and chaser. I also worked in a strip club. The pour out, it comes out for a 4-count pour, and it gives you the amount. It stops for you. All you gotta do is pour the chaser, and it charges. It brings everything up in the strip club. It gives everything for you. Anyway, back on topic. So, nightlife, working the Caribbean parties, and that party scene. It was like, it was a cool experience. You know, promoters are gonna try to flirt with you. Guys are gonna try to flirt with you. They're gonna try to get in your pants. They're gonna want some. You working a party, you a new face, fresh meat. I always say social media is the key to knowing the promoters. Social media is the key to getting to know who does what in the nightlife. They got promoters that throw big parties. They got promoters that throw parties every day. They got promoters that got their own workers. And they got people that they hire all the time. You have to understand and you have to follow that format. Because you will see a guy throwing a party on a Tuesday and he already has bartenders, the same bartenders every Tuesday. Every Tuesday they got the same bartenders, the same bottle girls, the same DJs, the same hookah girls. Back in the days, you wasn't finding bartenders like that because at the time it was 18 plus parties, so what we was really drinking in the party, we was doing nothing. We was shaking our hot, smelly asses. That's what we was doing. But now, as the millennium age went on, that's when promoters, you know what it is? It's about trust. Promoters trust their workers. You just can't come and slide in a promoter's DM and expecting him to hire you because you're beautiful and you're voluptuous, or you a freak and you promising him stuff at the end of the night. No, that's not how it works. It might work like that, but that's not how it worked for me. When I was looking for promoters and looking for these big parties, when they had them talking about it on the radio and Hot 97 and 105.1, I'm like, those are the parties that I'm gonna work. It's going global, it's national, I'm hearing it on the radio. I wanna work here. So I started Instagramming the names of the people that was going on, the DJs, going through their list of pages, seeing how can I get myself involved with these promoters and these party people. Back to what I was saying about promoters having their own team. A lot of promoters, they have their own team. What I mean by that, they have their own setup, they have their own everything. Down to the cleanup crew, they have their own cleanup crew. They have their own everything. So in order for you to get yourself involved in that, you have to gain some type of knowledge of who the person is, or who can you speak to, female-wise. You know, a lot of females, they have so much high pride, or they just so big on themselves that they don't want to help the next female. And that was not the case, because when I bartended my first event, there was this one female. She was so sweet. She's like, yeah, girl, you belong in bartending. You belong in bartending. Not only because of the body, the personality. I came in there, I knew what I was doing. Even if I didn't know what I was doing, I made it seem like I knew what I was doing. Like, I was coming there. She was like, yo, take my Instagram. This is how it goes from social media. Take my Instagram. The mouth, the word, because she's somebody that does bartending a lot, and now she knows somebody that bartends, and I'm an upcoming bartender, and I want to get to where she's at. So she's like, take my Instagram. She gave me another one of my first bartender bookings. And then from there, it just progressed, because I got to know promoters, I got to know bartenders and bottle girls. I know who has a team, who doesn't have a team. When people put on their social media who can bartend, don't be so quick to be like, oh, me. Sometimes that promoter is just looking for somebody to slide me a DM. Really, that's really and truthfully, but we're not gonna go there. One thing I also learned, like back to what I was saying, you have to make yourself stand out. You have to make yourself look like the legit and professional bartender that you want to be, regardless of if it's a small box party and the bar is like this big and the place is like this big. You still have to always be professional no matter what. No matter what, you always got to be professional. Your customer service, like if you ever worked a 9 to 5 and you ever had to work in retail, they always are big on customer service. And that's the same thing in nightlife. A lot of these men and females, they want you to be attentive. They always want you to make sure you're good. Me, if you come to my bar one time, I'm gonna remember what you had to drink. Henny and Coke, got you. Patron and pineapple, got you. You always have to be on top of that, because they like stuff like that. They wanna enjoy the party. They wanna stay at the bar because you forgot what they had to drink or you made their drink wrong. People remember that. People remember you by messing up their stuff. You can't expect to go further in a nightlife if you can't even remember a simple, basic 2-step drink. You can't. You always have to keep in mind, I know there's a lot of people, but you always gotta be mindful of certain customers, especially if they tip you. You want tips, you gotta remember their drinks. You wanna make extra money, you want them to know who you are, you gotta keep in mind of what type of drink that they had and what type of drink that they don't want. Like, you gotta keep in track with this stuff, male or females. Bottle service now. When you're doing bottle service, it's the same thing. A person comes to you and order 2 bottles of Hennessy, you always give them a setup. The setup always go first. A bucket of ice, cups, forks, straws, napkins. That is a setup. You bring out the 2 bottles. Depending on the promoter, they want you to bring it out with flares. You bring it out with flares, cool. This is just about customer service, because now you got to be attentive. You have to come to the table. Oh, you need more ice? You need more chaser? $5, $2, however much the promoter tell you it is. You want to be attentive to your customers. Other people see you doing that, they want you to work bottle service for them too. They want you to work bartender for them too, because you're attentive. You're knowing what that person wants, and you know how to be on top of it. Yeah, you're in the party scene. Yeah, you also partying, you want to shake your little bumsy, whatever, cool. But you also have to remember, you're here to do a job. And if you want to continue doing this job in the future, you always have to make sure customer service skills is always on 100, no matter what. Don't stop your money because this is your favorite song. Go get that bucket of ice for that man. Go back, make sure all your customers is good on the floor, and then you can shake your little bumsy. Everybody have their own preference. My do's and don'ts might not be somebody else's do's and don'ts. But my do's and don'ts is like, don't come in the party with your head filled with air. Oh, I work parties, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I work for such and such, so I already know what to do. No, always be open-minded, because what one promoter might like, the next promoter might not like. Maybe the promoter wants you to dance and he wants you to record. Maybe that's what he likes or she likes. The person that hired you for that event. Maybe that person likes that. back in the days when I was trying to do nightlife, it was just hookah service because we was 18 plus. We wasn't drinking. We wasn't popping bottles. Well, a little one shot here and there, whatever, dipping in mom's stash. But, we wasn't in the club doing that. We wasn't in Gallus Lounge doing that. Like, we wasn't doing none of that. Like, we was just there dancing in our stink hot leggings. Like, we was just in the spot dancing. Like, we was just there to dance. Like, anyways, back on topic. So, when a promoter wants you to dance and do and be extra, be extra. Always be open-minded. Just because you walk in there with your head held high, like, yes, I'm that girl, how you doing? Like, you feel me? I'm here to bartend, what y'all about to tell me? Nothing. Like, no. You always got to come in there open-minded and level-headed because you might know the promoter, but the people that he's throwing a party with might not like certain things. Some parties, you have to wear your mask. It's COVID. You have to wear your mask behind the bar. Yeah, you beat your makeup. Yeah, you did all of that, but you have to work a party. Like, you got to keep your mask on. Some promoters don't care about none of that. Like, they don't care about that. Some dudes that I do, I come there with my own setup. So basically my own setup would be a can opener, because there's beers. It's a party. People like to drink beer. I come there with my own lighter for the flares if I'm working bottle service. I come there with my own tip jar because I don't know no other females. I don't know the females, or I might not know the females that's working, and I want my tips to be separate. I'm not carpooling. Carpooling is, self-explanatory. When you get in an Uber, you carpool, everybody's splitting the bill for the car, whatever. That's the same thing with tips. Everybody's splitting the tips. I don't know these females. I don't want to split my tips. I want my own tips. This is my money. I pour my drinks. I shake my stuff. I do what I have to do. And I want my tips separate. So I come there with my own tip jar. Depending on the event, I will come there with change. Like if I'm working the bar, like certain of my homeboys, I usually work their party by myself. I come there with my own change. At least $100 in singles, because sometimes the promoters is running around too much and they forget to have your own, have change for when a bar comes. Somebody comes to you with a $100 bill, you don't got no change. Now you're looking for everybody like, yo, I need change. And there's nobody in sight because the promoter trying to enjoy their party too and enjoy themselves and not try to be worked up at the bar, because that's what bartenders is for. We're there for the headaches, not the promoters. That's another thing. You can tell when a promoter trusts you or, they give you leeway by the bar. I hate working a party and there's somebody over my shoulder. Like, why are you watching me? I didn't get hired to this event to pocket nobody's money. I believe in karma, sis. Why are you watching my pockets? Like, no. Anyways. So that's just one thing. That's just things I do. I bring my own can opener, my own bottle opener, this wine. I bring my own lighter for the flares. I bring my own tip jar, and I bring singles. Some people might not do that. I do that. That's just what I do. One thing two promoters would do, they would have you, it depends on the event, they would ask you your size and you have to wear their clothing that they get made with their name on it, or 2021 all white. Like, you have to wear it. If you're not comfortable with what they have, wear some shorts, or tell them that just get you a shirt and you wear shorts with it. But that makes a statement, because it's all about coming together and looking like something. All the workers coming together looking like one. Especially if somebody comes to the party, they don't even know who party this is, your shirt say it. Now they're like, oh, hashtag, I just came from 2021 all white, it was lit. Thank you for having me, da-da-da. Like, that's why it's this organization. They tell you what they want you to wear. You have to wear all black. When you work in nightlife, you don't always have to show your body parts. There's some females out there that's not comfortable with wearing a leotard and fishnets. You don't have to do that. You're wearing all black like they asked, and you're comfortable in your skin and you're comfortable in your clothes. You can wear the outfit that you want to wear. All black or whatever the case may have been, you're in the outfit you're comfortable in. And that's on you. But don't tell them that you're not doing that, because now they're going to go find a last minute bartender. Don't tell them that you're not going to wear that, because that's not what they want to hear. You know what it was when you signed up. But yeah, you just have to embrace what they're telling you to wear when it's time for you to wear it. Like, you just have to. Anyways, another thing now, what's going on, because nightlife is very big. Where I'm from, in New York City, nightlife is big. There's some parties that go from different states. It's big. It's huge. Like, there's parties in different states to states. It gets large. You might hear about 2021 all white in Atlanta, or you might hear about it somewhere else, like BRT weekend. You hear about it in different states and countries. Like, some of these parties get large, and some of these parties stay small. So when you coming in nightlife, you always, even if you never worked a party before, and it's your first time, and you're watching a video, and you be like, yo, I'm gonna start nightlife after I watch this video. I did what I'm supposed to do. Because once you come into nightlife, you gotta get paid. Where is the money? You're not here working no child labor laws. You're not here working for free. You're not here to work for free. You going to TJ Maxx to go work for free? You going to Target to work for free? No. You're here to get paid. So that's what you're going to do, get paid. So when I first started, my base pay was $150. My base pay was $150 for bottle service and bartending. I started at $150 because that was a reasonable price, and when I was asking around to other females that do nightlife, that's the price that they started off as. I started off at $150 because these promoters don't know me. They don't know what I'm capable of. They don't know to trust me yet. They don't know if I'm good at my job, or if I'm just here to be cute, or if I'm just here to make videos and snaps. They don't know what I'm here for. They don't know my intention. So I started at $150. Bottle service and bartending, I started $150. Nowadays, females ask for a deposit, especially if you don't know the promoters, because you can go work a party and he's like, oh my God, yes, this guy booked me for his party. I'm so excited, I got my first booking. I can't wait. I'm wearing a leotard with fishnets. It's gonna be lit. I saw the flyer, people is reposting. I'm gonna be so excited. I'm inviting my friends. Everybody come support me. And at the end of the night, that promoter run off on you, girl. You ain't going home with no money. At least if you have a deposit, you take a little L with your little $50, $40 deposit, you take an L with that. But promoters run out on y'all. Like, promoters run out, especially if they don't know y'all. Like, y'all famous, oh, y'all cute, you got the nice body, y'all be talking to them, you fronting back and forth with promoters, you thinking you all good. No, sis, you're not good. That man took his money for the end of the night, he ran off on you. And now look at you stuck. You never got $100 to your name after working this party. And you better not have that. Because you were there to work in a party, you're not making no tips, you're not doing something right. You ain't here just to be making money for your base pay. You're here to make money plus tips. So it's $150 plus tips. You're not here for just $150. You're here for tips. I started doing deposits when I don't know the promoters. If I know the promoters, I'm not asking for the deposit. I know you. I worked the party before. You ain't gonna try to zone me. I know where to find you. I know what kind of parties you throw. I'm gonna come find you. You're not gonna zone me with my $150. As time progressed and I started learning my work, I started getting bookings. I usually work on the weekends. I usually get bookings on the weekends. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I usually get my bookings on the weekend. As time progressed, I went to 180, 175, 180. Because it's like, now everybody's throwing parties. People want legit good bartenders. So I feel like my 180 is reasonable, especially if you worked with me before, you know I do a good job. You should have a problem with me doing 180. If the promoters complain about paying you 150, you have to regroup in your mind and think if this is what you want to really do. 150 party, 150 party. If he's complaining about 150, you need to go find another party to go work, because if you do the math under the night, 150 is nothing to that promoter. So why is he complaining about 150? Anyways, back on topic. So some females, they ask for their deposit. They ask for deposit because they just don't want to get sold. And I know females and I know promoters that will not pay you at the end of the night, and some females that will go home with no money and they won't tell nobody because they're too embarrassed. But it happens in real life. So now my booking fee to work a party is $200. I charge $200 plus tips. I'm not coming here to work a party from 10 p.m. to 4 o'clock in the morning and go home with just $200. I want my tips. When you get a good service, you're supposed to tip. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tip me for my good service. $1 little, all right, cool. I'm gonna be cool with it. Your cheap self. I'm gonna be cool with the $1, but tips, smile. How you doing? Like, anything I can get you? If you want to drink, you want ice? No ice. You know, then there's promoters that watch your hand when you're pouring out drinks, because some promoters know how much a pour out is. So a bottle of Hennessy should not be finished in 5 minutes. You're heavy-handed. They're never hiring you again. Don't do that. Don't do that. A drink is a 4-step count. When you're pouring out a drink, you count to 4 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Chaser, ice always go first. That's that. There's their drink. They don't want ice? All right. This is not enough. Okay, well, you have to pay to get a double shot. Because you're not about to get me in trouble because your shot is not enough. This is how much a pour out is. If you go to Manhattan, you go to the city, this is how much they're giving you. Let's really talk about it. Nightlife is just about self-promotion, self-confidence, and being open-minded to whatever these promoters tell you, and how comfortable you are wearing clothes and whatever you're comfortable in doing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.